everybody? This is Huge Pop from Huge. What are you waving in front of us, mister?
What AEW thing do you have there?
What's that?
Tell me that's not Kenny Omega. Is that Moxley? Who is that?
It's Kenny Omega. It's the limited edition Street Fighter Kenny Omega. Check that out.
That's sick, man.
God.
That is sick.
I would like to say it's sick, but I can't stand Kenny Omega. So
and I can't stand what they're doing. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that because I don't know.
But I respect the chase to find one of those.
Yes. So this is Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast. Below me, I got from the PWX Syn from the Syndicate. Next to me, I got Johnny Cass from, he says for now, the Syndicate. So, and PWX. So, interesting words that he used for now. So, but we'll hold that thought, Syn, and we'll get back to that. Okay.
Okay.
So tonight's show, we're going to be talking about Friday night Smackdown. Some of that stuff going there, some good stuff, some bad stuff, and then we're going to talk about some indie wrestling, some things that I have going on with indies, and of course, we're going to, as always, end the show with PWX and what happened on Thursday at your show there, guys, because these two are affiliated with PWX. So first, we got to say hi to Gina. Hi, Scott, Syn, Johnny Cass. How you doing, Gina? I think she's our number one fan. So thank you for joining on. And crazy weekend, guys. It's been busy, and but I'm glad we got together. I'm glad we're able to sit here together and talk wrestling because that's what it's about, right?
100%.
So I get an opportunity to talk to some professional wrestlers in the indies, and I say this every week, and I mean it every week. Syn and Johnny Cass, I'm so blessed to have met you guys, and I'm so thankful that you guys had the idea to create a show to talk SmackDown and to get your guys' the indies out there, and it's just I'm blessed to have this opportunity, so I can't say it enough.
That's awesome to be on here. I'd love to see the channel grow. That's fantastic. The more viewers, better.
Yes. So SmackDown.
Yeah.
There were some highlights, and then there were some not so much highlights. Obviously, the card was Santos Escobar and Damian Priest, Xavier Woods and LA Knight, the return of Shinsuke Nakamura, the special championship celebration with Liv Morgan, and then Matt Riddle and the Bloodline and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens crap that happened, and so on and so forth. So
let's start from the top.
Let's start from the top. Let's start with where was this card? Here we go. I think we've seen a little bit of stuff with I think the in-ring stuff with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens and the Bloodline talking. They're doing their talk and stuff like that. I think that was first.
Yeah, it was.
It's a good way to start a show. You got four guys talking on the mic and one in solo, Sikoa, that doesn't talk.
Yeah.
But what is your thoughts about this whole thing as it's going to wrap into? Is it going to end soon? What are you guys' thoughts on this whole
Bloodline versus KO? For me, I want to first mention, I don't know why every show WWE does now, unless it's a pay-per-view or a premium event, they call them now. They pretty much started off with somebody coming down and say, welcome to Raw, or welcome to SmackDown. What happened to just opening up a show with a match? That would be nice. But as far as opening segments go, I thought it was pretty good. I thought it would stay more interesting longer. I would expect it to be more interesting than it is at this point for me. So I don't know what the shelf life is on it. I thought it was quite long, but now experiencing it, I'm not so sure.
Yeah. Cass.
I kind of have a funny feeling that if you've been paying attention to the Bloodline, like, is anybody else just also like closely paying attention to Solo Sikoa? First of all, how he's so quiet and how he's just like, he's not talking to anybody. He's not talking to Paul Heyman. He's just there, silent, watching and listening to everybody in the Bloodline.
Right.
I have a feeling that the Bloodline sooner or later is going to end with Solo Sikoa taking out Roman Reigns.
Okay.
And that's eventually, I could see that kind of turning either taking out Roman Reigns for a while and making him going from full-time to part-time and possibly turning Roman face.
Man, and yeah, that I get that, but who on here wants to see Roman as face? It's like taking MJF, and in my opinion, this is my opinion, turning MJF face.
I've seen people talk about doing that, and I just there'd be no sense doing that. He'd be super hard to turn face.
You can't. How can you have him face? What would he look? What would he be like as a face? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I get it. We're all gonna feel so sorry for him because his nephew Solo turns on him and all that. I get that. But I don't know.
It just feels like to me that's the kind of vibe that I'm getting. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, if The Rock returns, and they might, I don't know, they're just going to mess it up, in my opinion, by maybe having Roman team up with The Rock to take on the new bloodline or whatever with Solo, Sikoa, and somebody else, maybe. I don't know. Like, I hope it doesn't happen that way, but I just kind of get that vibe. Like, if something's going to happen within the bloodline, and I feel like that's what's going to happen. Because that could, I mean, if you think about it, it makes sense, in my opinion, to have Solo Sikoa take out Roman Reigns, send him home, making him go from full-time to part-time. Because if I recall, Roman wants to go start doing the wrestling thing part-time.
Right.
Yeah.
I also heard that because Sami Zayn and Sami can't, and Owens refuses to go to Saudi Arabia, here real quickly, you're going to see the Usos win those belts back. And in my opinion, then what the hell? Why'd you take them off of them in the first place? To give them back to them. This just doesn't make sense. I mean, you did it at WrestleMania. I get it. But
there was a rumor that Sami was able to go back now, even though he wasn't originally allowed. I don't know how much truth there was to that, but I know I read an article on it a couple days ago. So that might have changed.
Okay.
I mean, if Sami would go, I could see Kevin going then, maybe, because Sami can go now, I think.
Right.
Otherwise, I think you're right. You're probably going to lose those titles right over again.
Right, and then you got Riddle in this mix, which I think is awkward as hell. I don't mind Riddle, but get rid of that silver jumpsuit. Have him be a hard ass, and I don't know. I just think, and I don't know.
Watch his UFC stuff. If you watch his UFC stuff, he was just that character instead.
Really?
Where he just was confident in himself and he knew he could beat people.
Okay.
If he was like himself, like he was in UFC, I think that'd be entertaining. Right.
I just don't know, with Riddle there and the rumors of Orton coming back, I just think there's going to be a lot to look at the tag team division.
Yeah.
And this whole storyline. I don't think it's going to be weird, but I think it's going to become good though. So
it would be nice to see their tag division rebuilt. He kind of needs it.
Jey Uso, he goes, y'all gonna do what you always do, fold under pressure. Then you two are the ones who reported back to empty-handed to your daddy. That whole exchange of stuff was excellent.
Yeah,
it kept the story going. In my opinion,
I like Jay's response to you just say the same thing every week.
Yeah,
and then Sammy's response is, I say it because it's true.
Right. So that was that. So it was a good segment. It was good. It was a good way to start the show. But I agree with you, Syn. Why not? Why do we have to start the show the same way every stinking time? Get original. All right. So we got Xavier Woods versus LA Knight. I'll let you guys.
I get why they had to have the match. It was set up with a match with Gunther. That had to happen. I get it. He beat LA Knight like a week ago. I mean, can't they give LA Knight a win on TV? I mean, what's his catch thing? The Mega Superstar or something?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they can't give him a win on Raw or SmackDown or anywhere.
Does it seem like after that match that he had with Bray Wyatt, it just seemed like he went from here all the way back down to here.
Yeah, definitely almost to Carpenter status, or as people call it now, jobber status.
Yeah. I wrote my notes.
Do you think maybe Vince may be the reason for that?
It has to be because
H likes him. Yeah,
H likes him, and he was on fire with that Bray Wyatt segment. I mean, yeah, everybody's
yep.
You know, everything, and all of a sudden this comes up, and I'm like, I don't get it. Let him have a win.
And you know, I get why he lost to Bray Wyatt because the build up with Uncle Howdy and all that. But since it's happened, anybody else notice there's no Bray Wyatt? So really, they made LA Knight look bad on a pay-per-view for no reason.
For no reason.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think didn't Bray Wyatt have some issues with health or something like that? Is that why he's not on anymore? I can't.
I've heard health. I've heard certain guys didn't want to work with him. I've heard all kinds of rumors, so I'm not sure. I'm
telling you what, if they keep on letting people go like this, AEW is going to be strong as hell. And I don't know. I just
if they got to pay for a booking team, that's their problem.
Right.
If they had a good booking team, they'd be dangerous.
Did anybody catch what Wade Barrett said on commentary? He said, "You touch another man's joystick, there's going to be trouble."
Yes.
I'm like, oh my god, right? I'm like, what? So it was a good match. I mean, you know, Xavier Woods winning. I feel like they're burying LA Knight.
Me too.
I don't know. I mean, seeing Xavier Woods away from his group didn't make sense to me, but I don't know.
I think they have a healthy body of a talented wrestler, and they just aren't sure quite what to do with him yet.
Right. I agree. So then we had Santos Escobar versus Damian Priest, and to me, this was one of the funnest segments, and I love to see the LWO come back, and that's pretty cool. I'm a Rey Mysterio guy, so I'm on board for that. Let's talk about this match. What do you guys think about the match?
First, on the LWO thing, I think I enjoy it more this time around than the first time.
Okay.
Fair.
I
definitely do. The match exceeded my expectations. Both guys really just did a great job in there, I thought. Because, I mean, the segment was good and all that was going on. The only thing that happened during the match, and I'm a bit biased on this one, I'm a Rhea Ripley fan. Why do they keep having her have Selena Vega get one up on her? Are they going to have a match on a on a whatever premium event? I mean, that I wouldn't, you know, I'm not interested in that part of it, but the rest of it I like. The whole, you know, the two factions warring.
Right. Yeah. Johnny.
It's a match that I didn't get to watch the full match of, but from what I saw of it, it was pretty entertaining as well. And touching on the LWO thing as well, I think it's cool that they're kind of like bringing it back. And if they were to bring it back, like, I think they could do like Sim was mentioning, like this will be like the second part, or the second coming was better than the first part. I agree with him on that one as well. Like I feel like they could do a little bit more with it. Hopefully, without any of Vince's fingerprints on it.
Mm-hmm.
With all due respect, Sin, I like Rhea Ripley too, but I love the segments with that she's having here with what's her name?
Selena Vega.
I
always liked Selena Vega from the indies up. She's always been good.
A, she's hot as hell. B, my wife looked at me like I was B, I'm in trouble now. But no, you have to get. I mean, there's no way she can beat Rhea Ripley. I mean, Rhea Ripley would take her to town and dust her off in like 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's why I don't get why they're building this little angle thing where she went up to her
Yeah.
last week, went up to her
Right.
this week. I'm like, where's this going?
Yeah, unless you're going to do a triple threat, not triple, but a three-way tag team or
Intergender.
intergender thing.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that, but I loved how LW beat down Dominic. I am getting so sick of Dominic. Although I do like it now, he's getting better. But I heard rumors that in the draft coming up in the next couple of weeks, he might be tossed into NXT. Which, let's talk about what that looks like.
I heard the same thing, and I heard they changed their mind. But
okay.
I could be wrong. I heard they decided not to put him in NXT because the angle's running so hot.
What happens if they break up one of these groups? How's that going to work? What's it going to look? What's the new mix-up going to look like? Is it even? Are they stupid to do that right now?
It always sucks. Like if, especially if we're used to having these groups around for a certain period of time. But then again, too, it's always nice to have that mix-up. I don't like the draft, to be honest with you. I never was a fan of it. But it could also make for something else that's destined to be great. Especially if that's the case with Dominic going to NXT. I could see him reaching higher status there than on the main roster, making him more valuable and more wanted, I guess, on a certain brand.
Do you guys think he can succeed without the Judgment Day, without a Rhea Ripley, without a Finn?
I would say, we're looking at a couple of groups here. I think Judgment Day for one. Are they going to take anybody from Judgment Day? And then, we got a couple of factions. You have the LWO, which we were just talking about. Did they lose somebody? You have New Day. Do they split them up? I think one of the groups at least has to get split up. Bloodline, possibly, big group.
Right. Yeah.
Like you mentioned Solo Sikoa. Well, what if he ends up going on Raw and they're on SmackDown and then Solo's tearing it up on Raw and he wins Rumble next year?
Right.
He can challenge Roman then.
Right.
That's something they could do that I think would be positive for a guy. And we can't forget now, too, I'm really looking forward to, I hope they bring Braun Breaker up to the main roster. Hopefully he'll be one of the draft choices.
Right.
And I heard no Vince is influencing the draft this year, so hopefully Triple H can do something really cool with it.
I heard they were going to split the belt some way, make one belt call it this, and make the other belt and call it that, and reformat what they look like.
It's a bad choice.
Just unite the titles.
Yeah, honestly, what was the point? If they separate the belts again, then what was the point on having Roman hold on to them, both of them, for what was it, 3 years now?
Yes,
a little over 3 years. Yeah, him having both of those belts have more prestige to them than they ever have, in my opinion. They should combine both belts and make it one if that's the case.
Right.
Like I've said this weeks and weeks ago as well, and I've said this every time we've been on here. Like they should just already make one champion or one world heavyweight champion and one women's champion.
But now people are bitching that they feel WWE wants Roman to break a record, and people are saying, what record are they going to make? And then they put it on, if you do this so many more days to break this record, you're looking at 2028.
Well, I think the two records that I think he will beat for sure is the 1,000-day reign, because he's really close to it, and Hulk Hogan's record. Just because that's obtainable in under a year, right. I believe, at this point. So, that puts him up in an elite he's in a very elite then. It's like Bruno Sammartino and, guys like that he's not the length of. But you pass Hulk Hogan's record, that's a big deal.
Right, yeah. Okay. Cool. But I thought that the whole LWO and how Damian got beat down by them and Escobar and all that stuff. So I thought that was a good part. So then we had the championship celebration with Liv Morgan and her Raquel Rodriguez. So
I actually missed this.
you're lucky. You're lucky.
Oh, okay.
I'll be honest. I hate when they do this. Celebrations, and then they got challenged, and DeVille and Green challenged them, and blah blah blah. Do you see that part, Johnny?
No, I didn't.
It was Morgan told Green and DeVille that after she and Rodriguez talked to Adam Pearce, the heels will be their next challengers. So we're gonna see Morgan and Green, or see Green and DeVille versus Liv Morgan and Rodriguez here coming up. So that's what happened with that. That's all that took place. And
they got to make those tag titles relevant again.
Yep.
Because they're not.
Nope. It's almost a joke like the 24/7 title was a joke.
Yeah.
And the Money in the Bank brief. That's one. I'll just say it. If there's a joke of WWE, is the Money in the Bank briefcase. And it started being a joke during the pandemic when Otis won it. And then The Miz and all that crap. And I was like, are you serious, guys? Come on. I don't know. That's just my plug there.
Honestly, I think if they're going to keep the Money in the Bank thing going, that should be a WrestleMania exclusive match.
Should.
You nailed that one, Johnny Cass.
100%. Absolutely. So then we had Shinsuke Nakamura coming out, and of course, who does not get pumped for that song when they play that song and he comes out and he does this thing?
Yeah, but the match.
But the match. Madcap Moss.
I don't even know that it was Madcap's fault. It's Shinsuke even looked off in that match. Like maybe he's rusty.
Yeah. Yep. It ended quick too.
Yeah, I mean, like Madcap come out and just beat the snot out of him and then got beat. It was really quick.
Yeah.
Wasn't Nakamura gone for a while too?
Yeah.
Over 8 months, I think.
Near 9. Yeah.
Near 9 months, yeah. A lot of rust, and I think you had to put Shinsuke over. Him coming back, if Madcap Mouse would have beat him on his first time back, that would have been poor. If you got to start like Nakamura, I mean, I don't know.
So Madcap and Emma, what do you guys think of that whole thing? Do you think it's going to work?
I think so. I think they can make it work.
You think they can like get over though?
No.
No.
If they made it somehow make sense, then yeah, I think they could.
I would hope so. I feel bad for Emma. The way they use that poor girl.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, I don't know. If they did it right, I think Johnny Cass, I agree with you. If they did it right, I think they could get him over. They need to do something. I love Madcap Moss, and I think they need to give him a good push.
When I saw him with Emma, I was hoping they would just give him a whole new name because, try to win a title with the name Madcap Moss. Just it doesn't roll off the tongue.
No, it doesn't work, does it?
No.
Writers give that segment an A, but I don't know. So then we had that last match, and it was Matt Riddle versus Solo Sikoa. So let's talk about that for a little bit. It had every interaction that has every week that we see the same interaction.
Yeah, but it had some fun psychology where the ref kicked the good guys away first.
Yes.
The crowd booed. Then he's like, he points at the Usos and also gets rid of them, and the crowd gets excited.
Right.
So they at least played to the crowd so beautifully, and then the Usos come back and, KO and come back and they fight. And, I don't know. I guess I would have been surprised if Riddle won. Because they are really pushing Solo Sikoa, it seems like.
Yeah. No, but you're right. When they sent the KO off and the Usos were like, and all of a sudden, You're out of here. And you're like, oh no, and Sokoa, man, he's a bad dude.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they're making him out to be that way, which is why at the beginning I said, like, I feel like this is what's going to happen with the bloodline. Like, they're going to try to make him be as big of a star as Roman was.
So have you guys ever, I'm just going to throw this out there because I'm sure some of the viewers have done this. Have you ever gone on YouTube and looked up Sami Zayn tries to make Solo Sikoa laugh?
No.
There's like so many like mixed videos of him just saying the stupidest crap in front of Solo Sikoa trying to get him like smile. He'll say the most asinine things when he was in the bloodline. It's quite funny. Definitely worth checking out.
Oh well, I wrote that down. Well, I mean, we started the tribal chief is losing patience with the two of you talking to Heyman, talking to Sami Zayn and stuff, and I don't know. It was good. It was good.
Yeah, it was. It was what needed to be. I
don't like Riddle in that whole situation. My opinion is when you had Cody Rhodes coming through before WrestleMania, and they brought the two together. Why isn't he involved in all this shit? But no, we have him involved in a Brock Lesnar feud, and I'm like, which is a waste of time.
I might feel like they put you with Brock Lesnar when they don't know what to do with you.
Right.
You know, Bobby Lashley, not sure what to do with him. Put him with Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Cody, we got to rebuild him up. How do we do it? Put him against Brock Lesnar.
Right. He could be involved in this dispute, this Solo Sikoa, Usos, Sami Zayn, Owens. That would make a whole lot more sense, in my opinion, than Mr. Barefoot.
Mr. Bear. New tights, too.
New
Doesn't
tights,
have the bicycle trunks anymore. He has normal ones.
I don't know. What do you think, Cass?
I think they're going to be possibly doing something big with that story, like between Lesnar, Rhodes, and Roman. So what I think is going to happen, and I think it makes sense from my point of view. You guys can let me know after I explain it. So I think somehow during or after the match, it might be after or one of the following shows on the follow-up, that somehow Roman Reigns is going to find out that Paul Heyman had a hand in talking to Brock Lesnar and taking out Cody Rhodes. And then Reigns is going to be like, so you went behind my back and you talked to Brock Lesnar to take out Rhodes. Why? Because you didn't think I could deal with it myself? And that's going to cause friction within the bloodline. That's what I feel like that could very much possibly happen.
That could happen, but you can't have a three-way match for the title because Brock can't challenge for the title.
Well, I'm not saying that it's going to be a three-way, but I'm just saying I feel like maybe that's what's going to happen. Like, it's going to cause friction again within the bloodline.
I see what you're saying. Then, yeah, but then what do you do with Paul Heyman? Does he still stay in the bloodline, or does he do stuff with Brock? Or
I don't know. If I had the pencil in my hand, I would say that he would still be with the bloodline, but just make him seem like it was good, all on good deeds on his part to try and make it so that he wouldn't lose his title.
You know,
or wouldn't jeopardize anything, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're not far up. You're not far off what I was thinking when they. I asked myself the same question: how could it possibly be that Paul Heyman had something to do with Brock Lesnar ambushing Cody Rhodes?
If they go that route, I think that's the best option. Right. Then everything makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
As long as they don't go Rikishi it and say, I did it for you, Rock.
Right. I know they were talking.
See that.
I know they were talking Randy Orton coming back and somehow turning on Riddle because Riddle can't challenge for that title either.
Oh, that's correct. Yeah, I forgot about that.
So something turning on Riddle, putting him in line somehow, the feud with Roman Reigns, which I wouldn't mind seeing that either. But of course, that guy is one spear, one something miscommunication away from his career being over. I'm talking about Orton.
Yeah,
that guy is he's living on the edge with what he's doing. So,
well, we do know if it was super bad, the WWE just wouldn't let him do it.
right.
I mean, they've shown that in the past. If they're seriously worried about a wrestler, they'll give him time off or release him.
Okay.
It's just the way it is. They've done it for way back in the day in the Attitude Era for guys like Road Dogg and stuff like that,
Okay.
who had some issues. They had to, take a few months off. So,
Well, great. Thank you for popping in, guys. Thank you for all the support, Will. I appreciate it.
hey, Will.
How's it going, Will?
So that wrapped up. Of course, we see Solo Sikoa tip over the announce table onto Riddle and all that beat down stuff, and it was powerful. It made Solo look like a beast.
Kind of like a new MAGA, but he's like more intelligent, methodical in the ring.
Right. I think it was you, Cass, that said he might be the next one to dethrone Roman Reigns. That would be. I'd be okay with that. It might have been Syn. I'm not sure who said that.
It was Johnny.
I would be okay with that. I'm a Solo Sikoa guy, so I like that. But that was Friday Night SmackDown. And I just hope that Monday Night Raw can be as nearly half or close to being as good as SmackDown, because Monday Night Raw has been sucking here lately. So, in my opinion, but so that's our WWE portion of this whole event that we like to talk about. We'd also like to talk about the Indies and what's happening in the Indies. And before I get to what you guys have going on the Thursdays, I'm going to say that my wife and I are going to celebrate our 30th anniversary on this weekend. We're going to go to Jacksonville. We're going to the Taco Margarita Festival, and I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Adrenaline Championship Wrestling, ACW.
That actually sounds familiar. Are they a pretty big company?
I think so. I believe I heard rumors they're going to be in the Daly's Place, part of this whole thing with the Taco Margarita Festival. And James Ellsworth, I believe, is supposed to be the secret star. So I'm hoping I get a chance to meet the guy. And then I was talking to Syn. We have on May 5th, the Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast, and it sits down with Nasty Nick Knowlton.
Nasty Nick, former member of the Syndicate.
Former member, still member, right?
He's a great.
I mean, technically, I guess you could argue that we kind of left on good terms.
So that could be part of my conversation with him. That's what you're saying?
I guess you could. Yeah. We both agreed it was what was best for both parties, and it wasn't any like we didn't get along. It was just I think we work better apart.
Yeah. Gotcha. So
Guy's a great talent too. Phenomenal athlete.
Total package.
I would. It's May 5th. I think it's a Monday or something. Let me look it up.
That'll be very interesting because that'll be a matter of days after he will have defended his PWX heavyweight title against Rhino.
May 5th is a Friday.
Yeah.
And he fights Rhino on the 29th.
Sunday before that 30th.
Friday. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So we'll be able to talk to him about that.
So you guys are more than welcome to come on the show if you guys are available on a Friday night.
Depending on what's going on for me, I might be able to.
Okay, 8 p.m. Central.
I think I'm open on the 5th, so yeah, possibly.
So let's talk about Thursday at PWX. How was the show? What happened at the show? Some highlights of the show. Probably finishing up with what happened to Johnny Cass and the Syndicate. So if we could do a rundown of what happened on your show, was it good? Was it crowd turnout? Did the crowd get into
it? Decent crowd turnout. We've pulled bigger before though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The crowd was hot though. They were really into what we were doing. So we had a very hot crowd. We pretty much ended the night with the main event being me and Johnny Cass versus KOI, current tag team champions.
How'd that go?
Well, Johnny, why don't you tell them how that went? Since you know,
okay, I'll explain it
because of you.
I'll explain it.
Okay.
This is your words, right?
I want to hear it in Johnny's words first. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, when I come out to the crowd, usually I get the crowd riled up. I go give high fives. Axel Hale prevented me from doing that, which is fine. I'm with the syndicate. I'm supposed to be learning from these guys. So I just kept to myself. And then KOI came out and they got the fans riled up. It was great show. I enjoyed every aside from our match. I enjoyed every single match that was on the card for that night. And it sounded like from what's that?
You didn't enjoy our match?
Oh, I said I enjoyed every match.
Oh, I said
beside. Whoa.
You said
I'm out. As the pot stirrer I am, I noticed what he said.
Yeah.
Johnny Cass said this. And I quote, I enjoyed the whole night except for my match.
You said besides.
Besides,
match.
yes. And I will get to that.
But,
trust me, I will get to that point in a few in like a minute or two.
All right.
So Napier was doing a dance inside of the ring. I thought it was kind of funny, and at the time I wanted to be a little bit funny too. Syn comes up to me, grabs my head, and he tells me, "Don't you dare even think about dancing or joining in on the fun, any type of fun. This is me teaching you how to do stuff around here." Then he walks away, and I said, "You know what? Screw it." So I did a little flossing, and of course, Axel and Syn prevented me from doing anything else like besides that. After I was trying to have just a little bit of fun, And
how did they prevent you from doing that?
Well, Napier was yelling at me, and then Syn comes running back over to me, and he tells me to stop, otherwise they're going to punish me. And then he goes back to the match. He focuses on the match. He starts getting beat down, and yes, that's why you crawled to me to tag me in. So I get in there, and I'm going up against Joey Grunge, and Joey Grunge is a big guy, and he's telling me that I don't have to do this. You don't have to do this, Johnny. You don't have to do this. And I'm trying to explain to him, I have to do this if I want to stay employed, if I want to get my hands on Joey Knox. As soon as I finish that sentence, here comes Syn attacking Joey Grunge from behind, knocking him down under the turnbuckle, and that gave me an opening to do something I didn't really want to do, but I have to do it. I kicked him a couple of times, and I went for a running drop kick. Pinned him 1, 2. He kicked out, and I believe I went to go tag you back in, Syn. After that,
that's correct.
After actually, I did hit a Rolling Thunder on him too, and I tried pinning him 1, 2. Kicked out again. Then I went to go tag Syn back in. And then Syn, was doing his deal in the ring that he usually does. Taking
care of business.
Yep, taking care of business his way, in my opinion, the wrong way. And just he's trying to get all this cheap stuff in. They end up actually getting a double down. They threw a double clothesline on each other, a clothesline on each other at the same time.
And we were both knocked down.
And if you recall, Syn, I was cheering for you to tag me in. I was yelling. Axel was kind of, there to tell me what to do, and I was listening. So I was like, come on, Syn, tag me in. And you finally tagged me in. But I ended up getting 2 clotheslines, and I went to go after I got up from the second one. I went to go try to give him a clothesline, but he grabbed me, gave me a standing uranagi, and it was just. I got my ass handed to by KOI. I don't really want to talk anymore about this match. You can watch it on YouTube when it goes live on Tuesdays on Pro Wrestling Extreme. I got attacked by Joey Knotts. He came out during the middle of our match when the ref was knocked out. He hit some move on me. I believe it's called the FU. And then KOI actually took advantage of that. And they hit their finish. They're like, I don't know if it's a tag team finish that they have, but that's what they hit me with. And they ended up getting the pin for the 1-2-3.
So when you say you don't want to talk about what happened, what you got your ass beat, what you told, what is essential words. Where was the syndicate with all this shit going on? They left you for dead, it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking the same thing too. While Joey was holding me up for Napier to drop the elbow on me, like I was like trying to, gain 100% consciousness on my end, trying to figure out where is everybody.
I got thrown into a post. I was on the outside brawling with Napier, and he threw me into the post.
It kind of makes me wonder, Johnny Cash, and I just want to throw this in there. The last Saturday you didn't show up on the podcast, and the Thursday before that you didn't show up at PWX, and so we had Jay Silver on the show with Syndicate, and I'm kind of curious, but it makes sense now because they said some stuff that they were going to make you pay. They were going to make you serve the consequences or whatever they said. So was this your way, Syn? Leaving him for dead? Is this where? But you say you were on the outside of the ring. You didn't know
well, I did get hit on the outside of the ring. As far as he hasn't talked about what happened after the match.
Oh,
after the match, Axel came to me, helped me up. I was looking around. I'd realized Johnny had gotten pinned. I'd gotten in his face, and I chewed him out, and I slapped him. And we butted heads. But at that point, I just stepped out of the ring. And you know what? Whatever happened to him after that point, he wasn't there last week. I'm not going to be here for him at the end of the night this week. He ate the pin. I'm disappointed in the whole situation. And then if you'd like to tell him what happened after that.
What happened after that?
I grabbed the microphone and I called out Joey Knotts again. This time I called him out for a match that not only is going, I believe that is going to be one of the matches of the night on April 30th. But I decided, you know what? I might be with the Syndicate right now. I might not be able to do what I want to do, but at least for this match, why don't we let the fans decide what type of match that me and Joey Knotts are going to have? Is it going to be a tables match? Is it going to be a ladder match? Is it going to be a no disqualification match, a first blood match? Who knows?
I've seen that on the PWX website or page, the Facebook page, and
The poll?
And people are getting into that. And so before I get to that, my question, I have just one more question about the match and how Knotts showed up. It kind of would, if I'm in Johnny Cash's shoes, it kind of makes me wonder, is Joey Knotts part of this group that, and you're left clueless about this, Johnny. Is Knotts part of this group all along that's been making your life hell for the last 6 months?
No, Scott, are you going to make me have to take a plane down there just to slap you? You've got so many conspiracy theories around the Syndicate. Now you think Jay Silver's working with me. You think I got Joey Knotts working with me. I mean, what do you think? We're controlling the whole locker room? Are we the clique?
Back in our interview, let's go back to way back in our interview when you were the only one on here, and you talk mad game about your syndicate, and you said, and I'm probably going to get the words wrong, but you said that the syndicate runs PWX.
Oh, we do, but
Okay,
it's in spite of all the obstacles that have been put in front of us, not because we're getting special treatment.
I mean, you can say what you say, and that's okay. I just was asking. All I was asking was Johnny Cass if he thought that Joey Knotts is part of the syndicate all along, and you're left clueless.
I don't think that, in my opinion, that he is a part of it. He seems. I've been in the ring with him before. I know of him. I know what style of matches he does. To me, it just doesn't seem like he would be in any type of faction or team. But in this business, nothing would ever really surprise me.
You always got to keep your head up.
Yep.
So I was reading this, and I made a comment on actually Johnny Cass's share of this PWX fans pick. I believe, if Jay Silver watches this, if anybody else watches this from the PWX, I believe to make it a little bit more interesting on your I Quit match, I believe the I Quit match loser leaves PWX for good.
Well, that would be totally 100% up to Jay Silver and everybody else who runs the company to talk about it, and the higher ups. And that's if, and I kind of, right now it's looking like it's going to be a first blood match.
Right.
With all of the votes that I've seen on there. I haven't checked in the last couple hours, but
we're currently at 55% for first blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's still in the lead, isn't it?
That's in the lead. The next closest thing is an I Quit match at 22%.
Oh, wow.
I'm just thinking if they would amp that I Quit match up just a little bit more, because, I quit, so what? Let's get it really interesting. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll send this, I don't know who we need to talk to. I just think I Quit match means I quit. WWE means you're done. I quit. So sometimes it's career.
Interesting. I mean, again, Jay Silver does watch this program, so maybe that's something he'll consider.
So I just think, but I do like First Blood. But see, knowing Johnny Knotts or Joey Knotts, First Blood is going to be that match is going to end up real quick. So, do you want a long match or do you want a real quick match?
I don't really bleed that easily. Yeah. And you gotta think too that Joey, he's a deathmatch specialist. So I think I've done my research on his deathmatch wrestling match, or I've done my research on his background in deathmatch wrestling. I know what he's done. I know what he's capable of. I also know some of his weaknesses. I believe that if it does end up turning out to be a first blood match, that I have enough knowledge and research that I've done to kind of stand on my own 2 feet there in the match.
I believe
something to think about that too. Guys that do get cut open a lot in death matches tend to have skin that does tear easier to bleed. Okay. So that in theory does put Knotts at a disadvantage.
So syndicate. So will the syndicate be around the ring during this match to make sure that Mr. Cass up here doesn't mess up something else?
Well, it's kind of like what I hope is almost like a graduation or a moving forward, a progression in his career. That's what I'm hoping to see. Don't be surprised if I want to be up close and personal unless I'm banned from ringside. I should be up there, but again, that's like you mentioned, Jay Silver earlier could ban me from ringside. Then I have no option.
So that night we have Rhino versus Nick Knowlton, Nasty Nick.
Yep.
Then we have this match.
Yep.
Are you involved in a match?
Yeah. Me and Axel are challenging KOI for their tag team titles.
So we can get a title. So we get some titles come back to the syndicate.
I feel like we should. I mean, if you want to count Nick still at being in the syndicate, we'd have, all the major titles, right? So,
Huh.
but
So Johnny,
I mean, that's me. I'm a very confident guy. I feel like tag titles. I feel like we're gonna get them. If Johnny listens, I feel like Johnny will be fine and win his match, no matter the stipulation.
Well, he didn't have. It sounds like he didn't have a good. He wasn't listening very well on Thursday. So,
well, we'll see if we can change that.
So, what match do you want to see happen, Johnny? Or don't you really care?
At this point, it doesn't really matter to me what type of match we have. Just I want this, whatever bullshit that's going on between Joey and myself to end, and I'm going to make damn sure whatever match that we're going to be having is going to be the match to end everything. And that's one of the reasons why nobody that's in the area of Streator, Illinois should miss out on this awesome, great card that we got coming up on April 30th.
So as a
Agreed.
person looking in and hearing you guys talk about it and hearing what happened to you Thursday, as a man, Johnny, I kind of wonder, what are your thoughts about? Would you rather the syndicate just leave you alone let you do however you want to do it, or do you want them by your side? Because, like I said, like you were saying, they left you for dead. So, how comfortable do you feel with these guys maybe by your side?
As I said before a couple of weeks ago, I wasn't really too happy about it. But at the same time, I didn't really have a choice but to listen to the upper management and joining the syndicate. I will say this: they do have some really good advice, and at some points and areas where they've been telling me to watch out for and to pay close attention to. And one of the things that Syn has also mentioned to me is that pain is the best teacher. And that's one of the things, whether anybody wants to agree with that or not, it is, to be honest with you, especially in this business, it is the truth.
I'd say, yeah, pain. I've heard that before, and I think that's in life. Pain is the best teacher. You learn from a lot from info situations. I like that. I get that. But when I first met you, Johnny, you were this energetic, dancing fool. The crowd loved you. Gina, I wonder if Gina's still watching. I wonder if she likes the fact that you're in the foster care world being bullied to not, we call it being bullied, to not be able to do your dancing and not do your crowd interactions. That's what you were.
Well, I got to interject on your phrasing on that question.
Yes, sir.
It is not being bullied. It's teaching him to focus on what's going on.
Is that what you call it?
He needs to focus. Focus is key.
But to take a guy that has the fans on his side and telling him he can't do that, I mean, what's that tell the fans? What does the syndicate tell the fans? I mean, are you guys don't like the fans?
Yeah, okay. I look at it this way. I don't care what the fans think of me. There's a handful of people out there cheering for me.
Okay.
Fine. You know what I mean? 90% or more of the crowd hates me. Do you think I lose sleep at night over that?
I guess you don't.
No, absolutely not. So, I mean, I don't see the problem. Why does the crowd have to like him? Why is that so important?
Here we go. That's Gina says, I feel that I will always be by his side no matter what happens. Well, that's great, Gina, because I have a feeling you're going to see a side that you might not like, actually. So,
if I have anything to say about it, hopefully. So,
He's Pop Wrestling Podcast. Scott here is going to give Johnny Cass and Syndicate one last moment. Johnny Cass, tell PWX fans, tell Syndicate, tell Joey Knotts what is really on your mind tonight as we wrap this up.
to the fans of PWX, I appreciate all your support, and also keeping me going, as well as, you know, me being with the syndicate. It does have its very, very little advantages. I will give them that. They are knowledgeable. They are veterans in the ring. But I don't agree with the majority of their tactics. This Thursday's Power Hour is coming up again. It's every Thursday, besides the last Thursday of the month, because that following Sunday is the pay-per-view style event. This Thursday, I might, if Joey's going to be there this Thursday, I might have to give him a little receipt, if you know what I mean. Maybe. We'll see what happens. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet.
Well, I got breaking news on that for the Thursday night main event. It'll be KOI and Brian Phoenix versus the Syndicate, which will consist of you, me, and Axel in a 6-man tag.
For the main event this Thursday?
Yep.
Okay.
Anybody interested also, by the way, can check out our YouTube page. Got a lot of new footage up on our YouTube page, and that's just separate words: Pro Wrestling Extreme. Extreme is spelled with an X instead of an E.
All right.
You can catch May 5th, after what you said, a week after Rhino or PWX's big pay-per-view. We'll have Nasty Nick on here on the show, and we'll probably be talking about the Syndicate, his match against Rhino, and everything PWX and everything Nick Knowlton's career. So that ought to be a good interview. I wish you luck on Thursday, man. Johnny, it looks like you're being forced into uncomfortable waters, and I think Syn said, or you said, you know, the best education is bad things that happen, or whatever. I can't remember how you said it. Pain is the best learning.
Well, it's like this. It's like you go through life after you graduate high school, and of course you're going to have, there's going to be bad times, there's going to be good times, there's going to be times in between, and also the career path that you choose, especially when you choose a profession in wrestling. You also have to be willing and be 110% committed to taking whatever comes your way, whether it be good or bad or injury prone. And those are all things that I've decided to take on with choosing to be a professional wrestler.
Any words for Joey Knotts?
Joey, just watch your back, man. And when April 30th, when that day comes, when we finally find out the type of match that we're going to have, and like I said before, it doesn't matter what type of match, I'm going to make sure that you're going to be leaving in an ambulance.
Did you notice that's what the date was Nick was going to be on? I believe you said it was the 5th of next month, May 5th.
May 5th, yeah. Yes, sir. I have one thing to say to Jay Silver, and I've been thinking about this all day long. Jay Silver, PWX fans, I would like to convince you or urge you to change that I quit match to a career, or I quit the loser leaves PWX. I don't know if you see this, Jay Silver. I don't know if anybody interacts with this program. But I think that'd be cool. But first blood match would be good too. It
regularly.
First blood match would be good too.
And bringing up that, I want to point out to people where they can do their voting.
Yes.
Pro Wrestling Extreme on Facebook, but you've got to be a part of the group because the way they do polls now, PWX poll, POLL. If you look up PWX poll, that'll be a group that you can join, and anything that we're going to do with anything with fans voting will be on there.
WX poll. Let's see what we got so far. First blood's 55%. I quit's 22%. Lumberjack 4. Submissions count anywhere 10, and tables match 4. That's what's going on right now.
So yeah, if you're interested in being heard, you know, you plan on attending the show, go to that poll and vote, man.
Yep, so it's Huge Pop Wrestling, Johnny Cash, PWX, Syndicate, Syn. Appreciate you guys coming on tonight. Another fabulous show here on Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast. Go check out Wicked Wrestling Alliance, which would be Syn's personal page, I think.
Yeah.
Check them out. We need to get Johnny Cash's YouTube page up and running so we can have him get some feed. You guys are great guys. I appreciate you guys, everything you do, everything you've done for the show. And I'm thinking if I could speak for Johnny Cass. Hey, Joey Knotts, this is why Johnny's going to beat you, because he is.
I'm better than you, and you know it.